Good evening, everyone. Today is the 21st of March, 2022, and today's session is about hashtags and how to use the @ sign on a social media. I'm saying this, and I really want you guys to read into this and act upon this so you can have a better interaction with person that you want the information from. That's number one. And number two, if you are going into the marketing field, that you will stop experimenting and playing with hashtags, so you will have a far better traction for your client further down the line. Because if we're going to repeat something often enough, eventually it's going to stick to someone's brain. And unfortunately, human beings are those little creatures that really like to do business with something familiar. So if you are sitting in marketing field or any field whatsoever, you need to keep in mind that people will do business with something that or someone that is familiar to them. This is actually over 70% of business is being conducted that way. And the other shocking 20, I believe, just over 20% is being allocated to pricing. So think about that. Okay, I'm going to be sharing my screen with you. So keep in mind, you're going to be seeing a lot of my information on it. I'm pretty much an open book, so whatever goes, it goes. I'm going to be starting off with groups and social media like Telegram and WhatsApp groups. This is something that gets me absolutely going. I'm going to be showing you an example, maybe how to interact, how to make it better, how to address things that you really want, and how to find out different things on, especially on Telegram and WhatsApp, being the communication channels. But before I'm going to start the route, I think if we are going to get involved in anything that is being done online, please do yourself a favor and on your phone, download a world clock. Pick up certain cities where you get involved with webinars in, for argument's sake. If you're very much into American market, you might want to download San Francisco time and most probably LA time or Washington or wherever those webinars or Zoom meetings are being recorded, which you can always find in the notifications. As you can see, my notification that you see on the screen about this webinar says time March 21st, 2020 at 8 p.m. 2000 Johannesburg time, which is 8 p.m. If you're going to have an app, you don't have to ask the silly question, what time is it in Cairo or what time is it in Sydney? But the clock will actually show it to you automatically. And what it does, it just doesn't make you look like a novice on the internet sphere. So we are trying to get into this intelligent online interaction. And especially if you're going to be looking to get involved in Milto's co-op further down the line, this is seriously a next generation advertising media, advertising and marketing ideas that they have, talking about metaverse. So you're gonna, I don't have to say you have to, but you should be a little bit more acquainted with the online presence, how to use stuff, and you don't want to be a novice, okay? It scares me, absolutely. Every time when I look at the Zoidpay chat box, because I am a novice in the cryptocurrency field, so the chatter, the language that they are using, it's like Google Translate, okay? Tell me what it means. I'm going to be using the Cooperative in Our Hands group as an example. For argument's sake, a lot of people will jump in, they will say, they want, for argument's sake, find out specifically when Milto's going to be holding the webinar, okay? because he promised that this week, from just around after the 20th, so most probably this week, he might be holding a webinar. So if you want to know exactly what it is, you would go at, and in my case would be Miltos. Okay, if you guys can see this, you can just type in one for me, so I know that you do. And you would have Miltos' telephone number, most probably saved under a different name. In my directory, he is featured as Miltos Greece, and this is his @sign. So if I want to address the Miltos directly, but I know that this information will relate to more people, I'm going to be using the @sign, and I'm going to go @Miltos, click on this, and I would be typing, please share when you, I don't type very quickly, will be holding your meeting. And obviously @sign. And as you can see, it appears on the screen right here. And the @ZoidPay SGM is in a different color. Okay, so you can now, the moment when Miltos will be switching onto Telegram and he will be doing this, he will see that he's got notification, because all the notifications here, as you can see, I can see who is messaging me direct. So definitely if I'm going to see @sign, this is the first thing that I'm going to answer. The same thing will apply in big groups on WhatsApp group. Okay, and just there we go. So if I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller, otherwise I can type between all the chatter that I have. Okay, Beata. Okay, so there is a WhatsApp group, there is the Beata English @extras. If you are sending one-to-one messages, obviously the @sign is not very important. It's actually very unnecessary. But when you are doing this in a group of people and you want someone to address it, it would definitely be helpful. So because Miltos is in the same group, I can do the same thing @Miltos. There he is. Please share the date of your Zoom. Okay. So there it is. The next little tip that I'm going to give you, if you don't know it by now, messages that just got this little tick on the side, it means it was sent. If you're going to see 2 ticks, it means it appears on someone's chat box, and if they change color, they're going to be, in my case, they would be in blue. It would show that the message was actually read. Okay, this is @sign. @sign on Telegram, on WhatsApp group. The next thing that I really want you to look at, and I'm going to be going on to a Telegram right now. If you're going to go, for argument's sake, and I would go Lanora. Just bear with me, because obviously that's a little bit too big, so I cannot see everything, and make it smaller. The things that I do for a living, it's actually scary, and I can't make it any smaller, Beata. Go. All right, so what you're going to see every time when Lenora's name appears somewhere, I've got it put next to different names. It would happen, as you can see, Miss Lenora Rogers. It's not on this group. Okay, see this? Names are repeating. She's not, so unfortunately the lady left. And if I would track it down, I would see when did she leave, or if someone actually kicked her out. So sending a message to someone who is not appearing in the group doesn't make sense. It really does not make sense. Don't bother, they will not see it. If you're on Telegram and you belong to a big group, what people are doing, they're doing a lot of pin messages. So if you're going to have your own group, you might be looking into this as well. It's a message that is being typed up and then it appears on the top of the chat box. The reason for pinned messages is that people who will be logging in, people who will be joining this group, people who are coming into the group maybe just once a day, they will have the first-hand information, okay? So you will really see it very clearly, and you know, you can just pick it up. Usually people do not read the pinned messages, which is really a very sad part, because in a pinned messages, you've got a lot of latest information. You've got a lot of information that you might want to use, that people who are admins of the group, they would like you to pay attention to, all of those things. So in my case, it's I pinned this message 2 days ago because I'm just tired of repeating the same stuff over and over again. That neither Miltos or I, we holding the money for YTCs. So guys, there is a way of doing this. So those are the pinned messages. So this is the @ sign that you definitely got to use in a social media like communication levels, which is the Telegram and WhatsApp. I hope that that makes sense to you, and we can move on. So I'm just going to stop sharing the screen for the time being. Okay, any questions so far? If you do have a question, please press 3 for me, press enter. If you've got no questions, everything is clear how to use the @ sign on the Telegram and WhatsApp, just press 0 for me. And midtime I'll have a sip, because I'm sitting where I'm really dry. So a cup of tea is really quite helpful, just to ease the throat and still be coherent enough. All right, so right now what I'm going to do, I'm going to be moving on to the social media, and I'm going to be using 2 examples. I'm going to be talking about Twitter accounts, and I'm going to be talking about Facebook, because those are the 2 accounts that are definitely growing in popularity. They do have the numbers, and if you are in marketing and you want to promote your clients, this is where you're going to be using @ sign and hashtags at the same time, which will make it so much easier for you. And hopefully this will help you along to get the message across to certain people as well. So I can see that there is no questions. I'm going to be sharing the screen again. And we're going to be jumping off to Facebook. Facebook is going to be the first one on the line again. You are looking at my account. If you are looking, and I'm showing the pictures from the laptop point of view. So if you're operating on your telephone, being it Apple, Samsung, Android, or EOS, you might be having different views that are available to you. But I'm talking about principle here, and I really want you to grasp this. You know, when you open up, and it really depends how you've got this set up. Usually what happens is in the messages, you're going to have notification what's happening. Otherwise, you're going to go through a news feed. And news feed, you're going to be seeing different things. Those are usually organized for you by Facebook itself. So where you spend more time, for argument's sake, right now, I'm going to be spending a little bit more time on my broadband.co.za, our sharing page here. So I'm going to be getting most probably more information from them, which means that tomorrow, if I'm going to open up, I'm going to have far better chances of actually seeing something from broadband or from anyone else. That's the reality. This is how the algorithm works. So clicking on something, you know, just because you feel like it, it's usually because of the interest. Try to be selective how you spend your time on social media, because there it is. I want to pick up, I'm going to pick up on sailing, all right? Because this is something that my husband is into. There's a lot of articles, and it's one of those things that really doesn't, it's a good example, at least in my case. This is an article that is being published by a magazine, a yachting magazine, and when you click on it, the article will open and blah, blah, blah. Now, if you're being really clever about this, okay, as you can see, it's got one share. First thing what you will do, even if you're going to be doing it on your own page, people say don't do it, it doesn't look well. I'm saying always like your article yourself. If you're going to write something, like it. It's, it's a good start. I'm not saying go with hearts and whatever else, but a little thumbs up never hurt anyone. And the next thing which you would be doing here, okay, I'm just going to click on it because I want to find out, and it's not because I'm pushing it. I just want to know what type of a boat they're promoting here. So I'm just going to skim through it very quickly. It is actually an article about trade winds and going through the Atlantic, and they're doing anything else, but we're going to be using the trade winds as a hashtag. So now what's happening, and I want you to use your imagination here. You would go into comments, okay? And I would go, you can use add, okay? And you would go GDC. See the irony of this whole thing. If someone's got a mic on, please do you switch it off, just mute yourself. And this is what I would do, okay? Did you see what, I hope that I'm not going too fast. If I'm going too fast, you can always go to YouTube channel, pause it and see it again. I'm going to go add, and I'm going to go GDC. You can see that it pops up right here at the top, okay? And I would say, not if you, actually I can do it slightly differently, which means I will incorporate the add sign in a whole sentence. And it would, see a little things, if we're gonna go too quickly, let me just do it properly. I'm gonna do something, do it right, or don't do it at all. So I would say, in a comment, I would go, this will not happen long if you involve in at gdc.coop. Okay. So now you can read in between the lines, you can be happy, whatever else. Now, the power of this add sign is that whoever's going to search on Facebook about GDC, they will see the comment, or this comment will appear, especially if someone will like it. So it carries a little bit more, more weight. The next thing is, we're trying our best to warn people, okay? We're really trying our best to warn people. So that's one. And the next thing is, if you really want to take it to one step further, I'm going to just add it, okay? Because you can use the add sign and a hashtag at the same time, okay? And I would go YTC. So you've got a hashtag and you've got an add sign. Now, use your imagination and take it one step further. What I mean by this is, you're in marketing and you're going to come across, and for argument's sake, you're a third party who is marketing another hotel. And as you can see right now, right here, they are marketing certain hotel. I've got no idea where from. We just know that it's the RIU Hotel and Resorts excuse me, I know that they do have a couple of resorts in Europe. They're quite popular. I know that in Maldives, they've got a couple of hotels as well. So if you're marketing another hotel, all right, you can make your comment and you can use the @ sign, you can use the hashtag with, for argument's sake, having great, using hashtag, I would, for argument's sake, like this, I would make a comment and I would say, great holidays in, great holidays, let me have a look, and accommodation in hashtag Africa. Or you can add South Africa, but I'm not too sure if RIU actually does have resorts in South Africa. So I'm going to go hashtag Africa. Now, if you are building the adverts and you're going to be using the key phrases, nothing's going to stop you of having a hashtag as the key phrase. You're going to be adding a little bit to your client. You're going to be looking good here because you're not really in a phase. And keep in mind that whoever owns this post, in this case, RIU Hotels and Resorts, they can actually come in and they can delete your comments. They can do this. The owners can. Third parties cannot. All right. So you can post this. So your hashtag here can be the same key phrase, if you can do it that way, as you're using for your clients in a web designing, adverts designing, all of those. And this is your Facebook site. Now, if you're going to be operating on Twitter, okay, Twitter is a very odd animal. It's like what's happening now is very much up to the minute. It's fast moving, you know, on time information process all the time. Now, what you're going to be seeing, obviously, on your one side, on your right-hand side, is the most popular hashtag trending, what's happening. So if, for argument's sake, I'm just going to go to my notifications, because this is something that they're aiming at me. So I've got a couple of notifications from different pages. What it means is that since I last logged into Twitter, those pages actually posted something new. Okay. Let us pick up on Zoe in this case. Okay. So what you can do here, and again, if you're going to be making comments, do yourself a favor, do the little like button first, and then you can do the replies. So on Twitter, you do not make comments, you make the replies, and you can retweet this. So retweet this. Okay. So that's one way of doing it. The next way of doing it, just bear with me, I'm going to go back to it. Okay. It's exactly the same post that you can retweet. And you know, funny enough, I can't do it here, I can do it on my phone. You can retweet this with a comment. And this is when I go really, really mad, because I'm going to retweet this with a comment, but I'm going to be using the hashtag, but using almost a comment as an example. All right. Yeah, and this is what to use the @ sign as well, you need to follow the page. So unfortunately, you need to know the devil, okay, to comment on it. So for argument's sake, here I would go, well done to the team. I wish at GDC. And right now what's going to happen, they will actually find all the at GDC, and we know that that's going to be their official web page. right? That one here. So I will do this. Okay, I wish, blah, 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 hashtag YTC, and just, sorry, go back. And you see hashtag YTC will appear here. If you would go for, just as an example, your client is in hotels, which would be resorts, and you would type in resorts. In this particular case, it's a cryptocurrency. So we would go and all what I just type in is CRY. And you can see the cryptocurrency hashtags that are appearing. There is a crypto expo in Dubai currently happening. Cryptocurrencies is really what it's trending. This is what they're saying is trending. What they mean by this, there's a lot of those hashtags. So if you've got someone who does photography, you might want to go hashtag portrait photography or landscape photography or business photography, all using the hashtag. And where you've got the @ sign, use your client. Use your client. If they do have a page on the Twitter, on the Facebook, always use the @ sign. Just going to give your client a little bit more oomph to it. Okay. So if we're going to go that way, I would say crypto's got 500 tweets in the last hour. And it gives you the stats. How many people are using this particular hashtag within the last half an hour? Last hour. So try to pick up the most popular one. Usually the trending one really makes sense. There it is, okay. You can use another hashtag going YTC, okay. And what you do, you post the reply. Okay, that's it. Now, there are a couple of people who will do nothing else but use hashtag. Literally, they're going to hashtag every single word. And I was trying to look for this example earlier on, and in true Beata's tradition, I cannot do this. So I couldn't just find this. But there are people who will write up a story and there is hashtag on top of a hashtag and hashtag and hashtag. In my opinion, don't do this because number one, it looks very untidy. Yes, you're going to be appearing most probably in more searches if people are going to be looking for it. But then if they're going to come across, reading between the line, you're nothing else but you try to get as much marketing as you possibly can. So no, okay. Don't use a specific hashtag. Usually try to keep it in line with the same way that the key phrases on the web pages are being done, and this is really the best way to deliver anything for your clients if you are in the social media marketing and taking it that way. So those are the things about hashtags and @ signs. Again, try to keep it simple, try to keep it to the point. To me, if you really want to find something, for argument's sake, hashtag, let us have a look, Zoidpay. So you can see there is an @ sign here as well, but hashtag appears quite often. What hashtag does, it allows you to cut through all the chatter, unnecessary information, and get straight to the point and get straight to the information. So using the hashtag Zoidpay on Twitter, as you can see, it takes me directly through the last or latest posts that are being done, that they are using the Zoidpay hashtag, which means they're pretty accurate, and finding information is very accurate as well. And this is what, to me, practical social media should be all about. Okay, I'm going to shut this whole thing down. And I'm going to stop sharing the screen with you. And for the time being, I'm going to stop recording. So let me just do that.